Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Angry Gary Vaynerchuk. And why am I angry? Because I just did a kick-ass Barolo episode for you, but Eric forgot to turn on the microphone. So, with no time to spare, Eric, we're taping 12 episodes of Wine Library TV today because I am going to San Fran. That's where I am right now. And I am going to Greece. That's where I'm going to be in a couple days. And I don't want to leave you hanging. Why? Am I a good guy? No. Am I a great guy? No. Am I the greatest guy that ever walked the human earth? No. It's just because I'm committed to this because I don't know if you heard. Psst. We're changing the wine world. And that entails an enormous amount of commitment and also entails me carrying my laptop basically everywhere I go. You have been responded to by me while I've taken a poop. Deal with it. So, what we're going to focus on today is enormous quality wines from Piedmont and specifically the wines of Barolo. Barolo is really one of the great wines of our generation. We're going to have to get very serious because the quality from here is very serious. The damage to your wallet is very serious. I mean, these wines are not inexpensive, but the ability these wines have to be new world, to be old world, to go perfect with food is really quite, for lack of a better word, uncanny. And I'm not talking about Wolverine and Beast and Rogue. I'm talking about the beautiful and elegant wines of Barolo. So without further ado, we're going to jump into these wines. We've only got 3 because I want to really get focused and into these wines, and I'm hugely excited about that. But before we do, you may see, you may be intimidated, you might be worried. We've got dimes. And the last time we had dimes, I kind of blew it and ran away and didn't hold up my end of the bargain. But the reason we have dimes, if you're a new Vaynerchuk watching the show for the first time, is because I am asking you for something very simple. 10 cents a week. I'm asking you for 2 cents a day. Your 2 cents on the show. A question, an answer, an interaction. We're humans. Remember, technology is eliminating interaction. We've got the comments down below, and I made it even easier, new little comments button, so please leave a comment, make me feel good. I'm going to be in San Fran tomorrow. I'd really like to walk in there and be like, look, 300 comments. It makes me feel good. It makes me chipper, like Jones. So, what else I want to mention is that you're going to need to leave a comment. Why? Because lurkers, you're going to need to listen up. We are going to make Oprah look like Scrooge. I am going to be giving away so much stuff when I get back, it's going to be redonkulous. And so you don't want to miss out. So I know you're that shallow. I know you like to win contests. I know you like free stuff. But if you're a lurker, you're going to get none of it. I'm baiting him in, right? You like free stuff, admit it. And come on, leave me a couple comments. And you can't email me. Rule! You know, like at the bottom. No emails to Gary directly count towards lurker status being unveiled. That's what this is about. Get involved. Leave comments. People are reading the comments. I read every single comment. Hook me up. And also dig me. Okay, so we've got 3 Barolos, and I'm really excited about that, and I want to get really, really focused. So, without further ado, let's get right into the Brovia 1999. Very good vintage in Piedmont. Barolo Rocche. Very interesting wine being brought to us by the importer Neil Rosenthal. If you don't know who Neil Rosenthal is, Eric, I'm going to make you work a little bit here. Neil Rosenthal is really a gentleman that I have an enormous amount of respect for. He's a great importer, really believes in true wines and traditional wines, and I give him a lot of credit for the wines he brings to the table. Sometimes a little too expensive, Neil, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, $56 US. You know, the number of New York Giants great Lawrence Taylor. You know, I'm not a Giants fan, and neither should you be, but I will throw that out there because I do diss on the G-Men quite a bit. Will they be 4-12 this year? Yes, but I will throw it out. 56 bones, 93 points. Antonio Galani, who is now the reviewer of the Italian wines in the Wine Advocate, owned and run by Robert Parker, and he's been extremely impressive to me. I think he's a tremendous critic of Italian wines in general, and I've been very happy with what he's done. He's really strong in Piedmont. He really came from his own publication called the Piedmont Report, and so I have an enormous amount of respect for him. So I'm excited about that. I have had this wine a while back, but not for a long time, basically upon release, and so I'm really super excited about trying this wine. So without further ado, you get nice color, not too crazy though. Some of the Barolos have gotten even darker than this. I'd find this to be a little bit more of a traditional color. I can see my fingers through the color. This is that dark rosé color that I like to see in my Barolo. So I like the color off the bat. Again, 56 bones. what you need to know is that Barolo is made from the Nebbiolo grape, and I really do believe that's something that a lot of people don't realize or forget, and so that's imperatively important. Imperatively important. Let's give this a smell. And you know, what's really amazing about Barolo wines is they're such beautiful food wines, especially when they're traditional, and this is very traditional. Though it has a beautiful amount of cocoa bean, I'm also getting a very distinct shiitake mushroom on the nose, which is quite interesting. I'm getting a little bit of a eggplant component on the nose, which is quite intriguing. This has got a vegetable aspect. It's got a fungus little going on, not between your toes. I mean more in the forest, but it's very intriguing. A lot of chocolate coming through on this nose, a lot more than I expected. And almost really the best way I can put this is it smells like a BBQ. I mean, it's really got a hickory, smoky aspect on the nose. So it's quite elegant and quite intriguing on the nose. Let's give it a whirl. I get a beautiful combination, tremendous acidity, great tannin structure going through this entire wine. Very balanced and elegant, yet powerful and firm. Kind of like, you know, Hulk Hogan in those intimate moments. That's what this tastes like. It's got a nice, beautiful flavor of like rose petal integrated again with mushrooms. I'm getting a barley aspect, and I'm a huge fan of barley soup, so this right away, and a lot of times Barolos give me that, which definitely lends me towards being a bigger fan of Barolos than most people. The structure of this wine is incredible. The tannins are beautiful. They're firm but fair, kind of like that referee in boxing, Niels Cortez. I'm firm but fair. I mean, that's what this wine is. It's firm but fair. Beautiful sour cherry coming through on the finish. I get a little vanilla cream on the finish as well. This is a very complex wine. Should I say, for lack of a better word, thought-provoking. You know, it makes you think. I like that. Let's call this college wine. While I'm on college wine, huge shout out. We've made a reference to it a long time ago, but big ups to CKCs, the College Kid Crew. It is amazing to me how many .edu emails I'm getting. Please, if you've not said what's up and you're in college, give me a little shout out down below in the comment section. The CKCs really are exciting me. You know, 10 years ago, when I was in that part of my life, nobody thought it was cool to drink wine. You know, basically like, shut up, Gary, do a keg stand. Fine. But, you know, it was one of those things where nobody in that age bracket had excitement over the great juice from the vines, and now there's an enormous movement of younger people getting involved, and I just want to keep encouraging that, the passion, the excitement, and you know what the best part is? The lack of rules in their mind. You know, the lack of, oh, Opus 1 is great. The lack of Bordeaux's the best. The lack of Pinot's hot. I mean, no, you know, preconceived notions from the CKCs. And so CKC, I like you. And please leave me a comment. So, that being, and you know what, grad students, don't go in there. You're not in college anymore. Deal with it. All right, so back to this wine. It's exceptional. It's everything you're looking for. It's expensive, 56 bones. You know, this is a special time wine, but, you know, unless you're D-Trump and you can drink this every day or pour it on your plants, but it's a special time wine, but this is something you definitely want to do if you're a big fan of Italian food, which, you know, I'm really not, but with spaghetti or veals and, you know, classic Italian foods, I mean, I'm yearning for a big slab of Parmesan Reggiano right now. This is a beautiful wine. I think Galani absolutely nailed it. I'm going to go 92 plus. I'm going to hold off for the 93, but I think it's an exceptional bottle of wine. For 56 bucks, it is what it is. I don't think it's rush out and, you know, like the Cabbage Patch craze where people used to choke each other out at Toys R Us, but it is definitely something you may want to seek out. Cheers. Let's move on. This is Massolino, Margheria, Barolo, 2000. We're going to talk about 2000 vintage. So this is the Massolino Margheria 2000 vintage, 93 points, Wine Spectator, 48 US dollars. And let's give this a whirl. Let's talk about 2000, because 2000 is very tricky if you're a serious red wine fan, a Barolo fan, or if you read the Wine Spectator. The Wine Spectator scored the 2000 Piedmont vintage as a vintage a perfect 100 points. The vintage of the century. The greatest things of all time. All that stuff. And, you know, obviously that created an enormous buzz, an enormous demand, and we sold and a obnoxious amount of Barolo, which was great, except for one thing. It's not the vintage of the century. You know, the wines are very good. They're explosive. They're lush. They're New World. They're powerful. They are, you know, lack humble, are explosive in ego. You know, they remind me of somebody. Eric. But, you know, it's really, really interesting to me watching these wines develop. So I was very eager to pop this wine. I'm very excited because I am of the school, as many other people are, that these wines are fruit bomb explosiveness that may fade over time. I found the fruit to be upfront. Unlike the Bordeaux's of '05, which were explosive, there's so much back-end structure. This, to me, seems like a beautiful house that was built on, you know, pixie sticks that eventually is going to come crumbling down. Now, that's a generalization. I hate to generalize about people, about anything, and especially about wine. Not especially about people, but definitely about wine. And so we're going to attack this wine and see what it's all about. But that's the whole backstory to the 2000 vintage, which I find extremely intriguing because if you're a Wine Spectator reader only, you think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But if you're more of a, no, I don't want to say well-rounded, but you read a lot of things and you get other opinions, there's a lot of people who fear the 2000s, kind of like the pink stuff. So let's give this a whirl. Right off the bat, the Wine Spectator's looking good. This nose is rocking. Ooh, did you see the spit? I hope we got the spit. I spit a little bit. I mean, I'm excited. Foaming from the mouth for some beautiful Nebbiolo. This nose is remarkable. Think of this as every single person's dream if that person is addicted to raspberries and coffee. This has an explosive amount of that, just way over the top, raspberry reduction sauce poured over beautiful, expensive cocoa beans. This is an absolute remarkable nose, and you know I'm a sucker for bouquet, so I'm a big fan of this right off the bat. Let's give it a whirl. The color's clearly sensational, a little bit darker than the last wine. Nose is fierce. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what kind of drinker am I? Gary, you like Old World and New World. Oh good, I'm safe. I can drink both these two Barolos. But if the mirror answers you one way or the other, this is where you need to know what's going on. First wine, Old World. This wine, New World. This is an absolutely explosive wine. It's kind of like a kangaroo ended up playing soccer. It's like absolutely Australian meets Italy. However, it's not as over the top as Shiraz or as Ripe. This is really walking the line quite perfectly. It's exceptionally dark. Beautiful dark chocolate shavings coming through. I'm getting a little bit of a truffle aspect. Heck, you pay like $20 for like the essence of truffle in this. So right off the bat, I find this to be worth it. You can pour it into your spaghetti when you're making it. Beautiful, beautiful blend of raspberry, cocoa, chocolate, and really perfectly zoned in truffle flavor, which really takes this over the top for me. I get a little bit of green beans on this as well. I mean, the tannins are beautiful. They're delicious. This is good. Suckling nailed this, 93 points. I'm going to go 93 points. I think this is fantastic, $48. I think this is a buy. This is a Barolo worth seeking out. However, if you're a little bit more traditional, it might get a little too fruity-tooty for you, but I don't think so. I've got to tell you, now on the finish, as a matter of fact, I'm going to eat some words. Let's rewind. We're going to tell you right now that this is not as New World as I thought it was. It's finishing extremely Old World, and it's lingering on my palate right now, and the only thing it's really giving me is a broccoli kind of truffle, mushroomy aspect to it. It is very good. This wine is very good. I'm going 93 plus. Give me a little SS Chris, give me a little 93 plus. Great wine. Definitely worth seeking out. One of the better $50 wines we've had on the show in a while. All right, Azelia. That's a tough act to follow, but this is the Azelia 1999, San Rocco Barolo. Great pedigree producer. Azalea's crazy, crazy, crazy respected. I'm a huge fan of their wines. $52 US, 91 points, Wine Spectator. Let's give it a whirl. What is the mirror answer to you when you ask it, Air? Non-wine. Non-wine drinker. How about what code you like better? Poor PHP. All right. 91 points spectator, 52 bones. Let's give this a whirl. Already, nice dark color again. A little more copperness coming through on the edges on this one. I'm not sure you're going to get that completely, but I like that. Kind of very similar to the Massolino color. Again, 52 bones. Pepper Johnson and Hizzy, Jet and Giant, so we'll give him a shout out. This smells a little bit like a... also has a mushroom component. This actually has far more green and black olive on the nose. This is an absolute olive mix. You know, you get that jar of olives, or that, you know, that bucket of olives now. And I love olives. I mean, I'm a huge fan of olives. Pickles, olives, sometimes even olives, pickles. I mean, it's big. I like the olives, so I am intrigued by this nose. There is also a cocoa powder aspect going on in this nose. You know, like the cheap cocoa powder you get at like the football games that they charge you 19 bucks for? Damn you, Giant Stadium. But, you know, that's what's going on here a little bit. I'm getting olives with, like, you know, you open up the cocoa powder that you pour into the water, but you pour this on top. That's what the nose is going on in this. And that's actually dead on. I'm excited for some people to smell this and email me and say, Gary, you are unbelievable. As a matter of fact, one way or another, whether you smell this or not, send me that email. You know, I lack the ego confidence. I need to be built up. Come on, guys. Build me way up and then tear me down like Lindsay Lohan. I need it. I need the humbling. Let's give this a whirl. Unlike Cabernet and Bordeaux and Shiraz, when you start getting to $50 in Barolo, you're really going to bat a hefty, you know, you're going to bet $7.50. I mean, 3 out of every 4 Barolos that I come across in this price point tend to bring, I don't want to say they're thunder, but they're always going to be adequate. You're going to get what you pay for, and occasionally you get exceptional wines. And this is a category I'm very impressed with. You know, I give the Piedmont producers a lot of credit. They did get a little expensive, but they didn't get crazy like Napa, like Bordeaux. This is a place of value, and it's tough to say when it's 52 bucks, but I'm going to have to say it. I mean, this is a wine that is not completely my style. It's got a little peppermint going on in there, which is not a component that I go crazy over, but it's so well made, and I can respect it for it. The silky smooth tannins are wonderful. Very dry, driest of the 3 wines. So if you're a fan of really dry wines, you should seek this out. Beautiful integration of asparagus, fresh summer basil, and a beautiful cheese component. I mean, it's just cheesy, and cheesy in a good way. I like this wine. Sour cherry coming through in the Hizzy on the finish. An overall exceptionally well-made wine. I'm going to score this wine 91 plus. Again, only because of the peppermint spearmint component for me. Again, this can be a 94 for you. Rest assured, it's high quality, it's elegant, it's structured, there's no flaws, and it's polished. Kudos to Barolo. I mean, kudos to Piedmont, because Barbarescos are some of my favorite wines as well, and some of the Nebbiolos and Dolcettos and Barbera. If you haven't gone to the land of the P, you need to seriously seek it out, because Piedmont is really one of the good places. You know, it's like some good, solid guys there. What else? Talked about the lurkers. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Huge news. Many of you have signed up for Cork. Kudos. It's going to be awesome. Give me 6 months. Eric's a little slow. But what you're going to need to do, if you're going to want to have any fun benefit, fun time, and you want to really enjoy the full experiences, you're going to have to upload a picture and update your bio. I've been emailing some of you late night, 3 a.m. Eastern time, letting you know, update that bio, update that picture. There's a reason. 1, I like you. 2, I like giving away stuff. 3, it's going to be important. 4, I like you. Because you, with a little bit of me, you thought I was going to forget the question of the day. You did. You forgot about the question of the day. Question of the day is, we're going to go a little meal-oriented. What is your favorite Italian dish? And which wine do you pair with it? Because you, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world. Aren't we?